Morning, everybody. Day 8. I'm rolling out of the Holiday Inn Express. You know, interesting, when I was having my breakfast, everybody at the breakfast service was saying, "That's a great bike. Oh, I love that fleece that you have on. What a cool cycling cap." And then I realized it was a complimentary breakfast. Instead of locking my bike up outside, I decided to bring it right into Walmart. I figured they could tell me to get out, but I think I will go for some chocolate chip. Alright, about an hour into the ride. I'm going to take a slight detour into Wally World for some re-outfitting. Here's something interesting along the way. This is a 9/11 memorial with pieces of the original World Trade Center. If you think back where you were on 9/11, I was working in an office building in northern New Jersey, and someone had come in and said, like, "Oh, an airplane hit the World Trade Center." And I thought to myself, okay, there was a bomber that hit the Empire State Building in fog, you know, just after World War II, but it's like really kind of unusual. But then they came in and said, "Oh, they're hitting the Pentagon," and now all of a sudden I'm like completely confused. And I was just one person completely confused how things were ramping out of control. Pentagon, 2 World Trade Center, blah blah blah, planes crashing. Can you imagine how our government felt? No wonder they shut down the skies and said, "All right, this is an attack. All planes cannot land anywhere. No more planes. They have to land someplace else." All right, just back on the trail, people. After 3.6 miles, and immediately rewarded with a nice viaduct. That's beautiful. With temperatures getting up into 75. So, good temperatures, good weather, no rain in the forecast. I had enough of that for the first 3 days. Now I'm just really enjoying just living life on a bike. The Chittenango Landing Museum closed today, but this is where boats would haul up in the dry dock in the off season, and there's a 3/4 scale model of a canal boat showing the inner workings of it. Here's something to put in your "We're not in Kansas anymore" files. The author of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, L. Frank Baum, was born in Chittenango in 1856. So they've celebrated that heritage by putting a yellow brick road through the center of town. So how cool is that? I have just entered on a section of the trail that I've never been on before. Twice when I came through the Erie Canal, now Empire Trail, I detoured at Canastota and went north towards Sylvan Beach and stayed right on Oneida Lake. So, good stay out on Oneida Lake, but I never got to this section of the trail. Welp, time to look for a detour. Dismount zone means we walk the bike across. Well, rolling out of lock 21. Next lock is lock 20 eastbound, which which is where I'm going to be staying. It says it's 18.2 miles. Hey guys, don't go into the tall grass. Well, I'm here. Erie Canal, construction began here in 1817. There's someone that really won the contest. That is a pretty fancy theater marquee. Just picked up dinner sandwich at Big Daddy's, established 1963. It's good to see these independent places and small businesses that have survived COVID are still in business for us hungry cyclists. Fort Stanwix over there. Fort that was built but never saw any combat. The fort was actually rebuilt because it was demolished and then paved over with modern buildings until the Historical Society said, hey, we need to rehistorize this area, even though rehistorize is not even a word. Looks like coming out of the industrial section of Rome, we get into a little bit of double track here. Yeah, we've got some barges on the barge canal, anchored out there in the middle. And what a cool old tugboat. Well, I've got my lunch / dinner. I'm here at Lock 20. This is going to be overnight. 58 miles on the day, which isn't a huge day, but it's good enough. My campsite and my view. Recap on today. Good day. 58 miles on the odometer. I just hung out here at the lock. You saw the boat come through the lock and it's very peaceful. I'm just chilling out in the tent. I do mean chilling. It's down to 60 degrees now. It's going to go down to about 40 overnight. I'm plenty warm in my quilt here. Tomorrow morning I'll pack up and head off to get some coffee and breakfast sandwich at Dunkin'. That's about a mile down the road, and get ready for day 9 tomorrow. What are you doing out there? It's cold outside. Come on in and we'll pack up. It was cold last night. 43 degrees now in Marcy at the campsite. I'm still here in my sleeping bag. I would love for the sun to come up, but I want to go to Dunkin' and get some coffee. So before I do that, I need to ride over there. And for that, I am going to use a 3-layer solution. Layer 1 is my normal base riding gear. Layer 2 is a fleece. And layer 3, a wind shell. It's going to be a chilly ride to Dunkin' this morning, I'll tell you. So let's pack up this tent and start heading off to get some breakfast. These might look like ordinary cold weather gloves, but look, pull this out, they become middies! Because the drive drive-through line goes around the entire building. People decided to come inside. Dog, what the texture of sandpaper was like. He's rough. But man, what a time to be alive. I love doing this. Yep, detour. Apparently there's a bridge out, so they're routing us on a detour. Doesn't look like it's going to be a short one either. Alright, so about a mile and a half out of the way, so not too terrible. Thought it was going to be a little bit longer than that. You know what I never understand is, what is the purpose of vandalizing something like this? I mean, you're only causing someone who is already in pain and misery, who needs to pump up a tire, even more pain and misery because they can't pump it up. I don't get it. Not that I need it right now, but... There's a big gate. Such a lovely setting here at Little Falls. Through Canal. Here we are at Sprakers Church and our home for the night. So let's check this out. And here we are. Well, this looks nice. After seeing and reading many blogs about people who stay in church halls on coast-to-coast cycle rides, I am actually staying in one right now in Sprakers, New York. And let me show you the amenities that they've got here, which makes it really cool. Snacks. Loads of water. Bike pump, spare tubes. In the morning, coffee, oatmeal. I've got my own sleeping space, tent drying spot, and last but not least, indoor plumbing. Time shows 4 o'clock. So I'm just gonna kind of sit here for the next 4 hours, relax, and then climb into bed as the sun goes down around 7:45 or so. And it's gonna get very cold tonight, so I am glad I'm indoors. Oh, hey, you're awake. Welcome to day 10, everybody, from Sprakers, New York, on the way to Waterford, New York. Riding out of the Sprakers Reformed Church this morning. It's chilly, but not as cold as I would have thought at 42. I am getting back on the trail for my 58 today. And that was a really good night. Thanks, Sprakers Church. Looks like the Mohawk River Valley got some fog in it this morning, which makes sense. It was 38 degrees when I was having my coffee, so I know I'll be shedding layers, and this is only a temporary chilliness for the morning. Man, just being out here. Morning, friend. A nice section of the former roadbed. It's a little bit chilly in here. Just down the road from the Amsterdam Castle is this place called L'Ultimo. A year ago, Kath and I couldn't find anything open except for this place, and the food was really good. Due north is the Amsterdam Castle. Interesting stay. Glad I did it once. But we are going on the canal and not going to the castle today because we have other things to see. Now you might think this is a consumer's literal interpretation of shop till you drop, but the Vetter family cemetery has been here since the 18th century and the mall had to be built around it. So put that in your dead letter file. I rode 2 miles and climbed 65 feet for that joke. When you're going through Schenectady, make sure you follow the signs for the Erie Canal because your GPS might route you right on some of the city streets, but the actual trail goes down along the river and past the casino. So my GPS did the same thing, but I decided to follow the signs because it's a much better route and far more scenic.